everyone, so today I'm doing my BookTubeAthon Wrap-Up video. I know it's a few days after BookTubeAthon, but I didn't want to do it on the last day and I have been really busy for some reason, which is weird for me considering I don't usually do a lot. I read 4 books during the BookTubeAthon, which was my target, and I completed 5 of the challenges. So I'm pretty happy with how much I read. So the first book that I read was The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I loved this book so much. I don't really read fantasy or dystopian or anything like that very often, but this one was so good and I just loved it. I went out and bought the second one, The Invasion of the Tearling, yesterday, and I can't wait to read that. It just looks so good. This one I rated 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's about a girl who's 19 and she becomes queen of this kingdom. She had to be 19 for her to take the role, but it's about her uncle sending out assassins to try and kill her, and loads of people don't want her to take the throne. It's just a really good book, really interesting read, and I could totally imagine the world. One thing with this book though, I don't think it's made clear until like halfway through or something. It's set in the future, and I know reading through some of the Goodreads reviews, it's like, oh, how do they know about these things? It's set in the past, but it's not, and I don't think that's made entirely clear until halfway through. I still really liked this book and I would definitely recommend it. This was for the Read a Book That You Really Want to Read challenge. The next book that I read for BookTubeAthon was Forgive Me, Leonard, Peacock by Matthew Quick, and this is for the challenge read a book without letting go of it. And I was pretty proud of this because it's 273 pages. I know we were originally going to read a children's book for that challenge, but I read this one, and it was quite a quick read because some of the fonts were quite big. But I was determined to do this challenge, and this one can also count for a book with blue on the cover because of the candle. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favourite. I think I just didn't really like Leonard. He came across as quite angry, and I guess that's part of his character, but I didn't like him that much, and so I struggled to enjoy the book completely. It's about a boy on his 18th birthday, and he's decided that he's going to kill his former friend and then himself after saying goodbye to 4 people first, and it's just basically a story of his day. I gave it 3 stars. I'd probably give it 3.5. I would recommend it because I guess a lot of more people would like this book. I like the storyline, I just didn't like the character. It just wasn't for me, I guess. The third book that I read was Landline by Rainbow Rowell, and this was the challenge, read your latest acquired book. Read the book you last acquired, that's the one. This again, it was okay. I definitely prefer Fangirl by her. The pace was a bit off with this book, I found. Some parts of it went really fast and some parts were really slow, but they didn't work. I don't know, I think that might just be me who found that problem, but it just found that sometimes I would want to pick up another book and just put this one to the side. I didn't, because usually just when I was about to put it down, it sped up again. It was good. I would recommend it. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favourite, and I did think about putting it down, but it's still well written and the storyline's interesting, although I sometimes got frustrated with the characters. It had a nice ending. I will say that the ending was really nice. The final book that I read for BookTubeAthon, which was for the challenge of read someone else's favourite book, was The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I said I had this on Kindle and I went out and bought the paperback because I work at a charity bookshop and they had it, and I prefer paperbacks anyway. This book was so lovely. It follows the story of Eddie, who's an old man, and he dies, which is not a spoiler because that's basically the premise of the story. And when it has this idea that when you get to heaven, you meet 5 different people individually, and the things that were unexplained in your life are explained to you, and then once you've had them explained to you, you explain someone else's, and then you can just relax. And it's about the 5 people Eddie meets, and his life is explained to him. And I guess not a huge amount happens in this book, But it was so good, and the characters were all lovely, and Eddie, and I just love this book. I can see why so many people have this as their favourite, because it was so good, and I would 100% recommend this. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And this can also go for the book with blue on the cover because it's blue. So all in all, I read 4 books. 2 of them I rated 5 stars and 2 of them I rated 3 stars. I'm happy with how many I read because that was what I kind of set myself as a target, especially because The Queen of the Tinning was quite long. If you've got any opinions on any of the books I've shown you, or you want to read them, or you have read them, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye!